If there is one industry quietly powering almost every major technology trend today, it's semiconductors. They sit inside smartphones, laptops, data centers, gaming consoles, cars, medical equipment, industrial machines, and countless other products people use every day. Most consumers never think about them. They rarely see them, and they almost never talk about them. But without semiconductors, modern technology simply wouldn't exist. That's why one of the biggest battles in the world right now isn't happening between social media platforms. It isn't happening between smartphone brands. And it isn't happening inside app stores. It's happening inside the semiconductor industry. A race that could reshape technology for years to come. Because as computing demands continue rising, semiconductors are becoming one of the most valuable and strategic resources in the global economy. And everyone wants a bigger piece of the future. For decades, semiconductors improved at an extraordinary pace. Each new generation became smaller, faster, more powerful, and more efficient. Those improvements helped drive the entire technology industry forward. Better chips created better devices. Better devices created new markets. And new markets created enormous business opportunities. The relationship was simple. When semiconductors improved, everything else improved too. Today, that relationship is more important than ever. The world is consuming more computing power than at any point in history. Cloud services continue expanding. Digital infrastructure continues growing. Connected devices continue multiplying. And businesses continue demanding faster, more capable technology. Every one of those trends depends on chips. That's why semiconductor companies have become some of the most important businesses in the world. The race isn't just about making chips anymore. It's about determining who will control the foundation of future technology. One reason this race matters so much is because advanced semiconductors are becoming increasingly difficult to produce. Years ago, multiple companies could compete at the highest levels of chip manufacturing. Today, the barriers are enormous. Building advanced chips requires specialized expertise, massive research budgets, highly sophisticated equipment, and manufacturing facilities that can cost tens of billions of dollars. The complexity is staggering. Modern semiconductors contain billions of tiny components packed into microscopic spaces. Producing them requires precision at a scale that's difficult to comprehend. As a result, only a small number of companies can compete at the cutting edge. That concentration has transformed semiconductors from ordinary technology products into strategic assets. Another reason the semiconductor race is becoming so intense is because every major technology company depends on them. Smartphone manufacturers need better chips. Cloud providers need better chips. Gaming companies need better chips. Consumer electronics companies need better chips. Even industries that traditionally had little connection to technology are becoming increasingly dependent on advanced semiconductors. Cars now contain far more computing power than they did a decade ago. Factories rely on digital systems. Medical devices rely on advanced processing. The demand keeps growing. And so does the importance of the companies supplying those chips. The competition extends far beyond traditional semiconductor firms. Many of the world's largest technology companies are now designing their own chips. Why? Because they believe controlling hardware creates advantages: better performance, better efficiency, better integration, and greater control over product development. Instead of relying entirely on outside suppliers, companies increasingly want direct influence over the technology powering their products. This shift is changing the entire industry. The semiconductor race is no longer limited to chip manufacturers. It's becoming a broader technology race. Infrastructure is another major reason this competition matters. Modern computing requires enormous resources. Data centers continue expanding, cloud services continue growing, and digital platforms continue serving billions of users. All of that activity depends on semiconductors. Without advanced chips, the digital economy slows down. With better chips, entirely new possibilities emerge. That's why businesses are investing so heavily. They understand that future growth may depend on access to computing power. And computing power depends on semiconductors. What's fascinating is that semiconductor leadership creates ripple effects throughout the economy. Companies with access to better chips often gain competitive advantages. Products become faster, systems become more efficient, operations become more productive. Technology leadership frequently starts at the hardware level. The businesses building the best semiconductors often influence what becomes possible elsewhere. That's one reason investors pay such close attention to the industry. The implications extend far beyond semiconductors themselves. Consumer technology is being shaped by this race as well. Every smartphone improvement depends on better chips. Every laptop upgrade depends on better chips. Battery life, graphics performance, connectivity, processing speed. Many of the features consumers enjoy originate from advances happening deep inside the semiconductor industry. People often focus on the finished products, but the real innovation frequently begins with the chips powering them. As semiconductor technology improves, consumer technology improves too. Another important factor is economics. The semiconductor industry requires extraordinary investment. Research and development costs continue rising. Manufacturing facilities continue becoming more expensive. And competition continues intensifying. Companies are spending enormous amounts of money because the rewards can be enormous. Success creates influence, market leadership, and access to some of the most important technology markets in the world. Failure can leave businesses behind for years. The stakes are incredibly high. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of this race is how invisible it remains to most consumers. People notice new phones, new computers, new gadgets, but they rarely notice the semiconductor breakthroughs making those products possible. The industry's work happens largely behind the scenes, yet its impact reaches almost every corner of modern life. The future of computing, the future of consumer electronics, the future of cloud infrastructure, and the future of digital innovation all depend on what happens inside the semiconductor industry. That's why this race matters. It's not simply a competition between chip companies. It's a competition to shape the future of technology itself. The winners won't just sell semiconductors. They'll help determine what kinds of products, services, and innovations become possible over the next decade. So what is the semiconductor race that could reshape technology? It's the battle to build the computing foundation of the future. A race involving enormous investments, extraordinary engineering challenges, and some of the most important companies in the world. It's a competition for technological leadership, for computing power, and ultimately for influence over the next generation of innovation. Because while most people focus on the devices they can see, the real battle is happening inside the tiny chips powering everything around them. And the outcome may shape the future of technology more than almost anything else.